Hey everybody, and welcome back to another special edition episode of Book Spotlight. And in today's episode, we are going to talk about a book that actually has been one that's been known about in my family for years. Little fun fact, my grandpa wasn't able to read very much, and my grandma would read stories, different books, Little House on the Prairie, lots of different things like that out loud to their 5 children, would read to them, and my grandpa would, listen in. And one particular story that he really got a kick out of, that he would be laughing so hard at, was the one that we're going to talk about today, which is Summer of the Monkeys by Wilson Rawls. If that name sounds familiar, I will show you why. He is the same man that brought us the well-known Where the Red Fern Grows. Where the Red Fern Grows is a very well-known book, but we're not going to be talking about it in today's Book Spotlight because we're going something a little bit more off the wall. We're going with Summer of the Monkeys, which is actually, both are good stories, but this one has more of a comedy aspect to it than Where the Red Fern Grows. Like I said, both really good books. I actually grew up on the Disney movie version of this. I had it on VHS and I watched that thing endlessly until the point at one point got run over and then had to fix the tape, but it still worked afterwards after it got fixed, so it was all good. But if you have ever watched the Disney version of this movie, there are some similarities, but the fact of the Disney movie has like 4 or 5 monkeys. I think it's 4. There's a lot more monkeys in this one. A lot more. Like a train car load of think. So, let's stop random yapping. And I'm going to read the back cover and the first 5 chapters. Monkeys out in the middle of nowhere, staring at him. A tree full of monkeys was the last thing 14-year-old J. Barry Lee thought he'd find on one of his treks through Oklahoma's Cherokee Ozarks. Jay learns from his grandfather that the monkeys have escaped from a circus and that there is a big reward for anyone who finds them. He knows how much his family needs the money. Jay is determined to catch the monkeys. It's a summer of thrills and dangers that no one will ever forget. Up until the summer I was 14 years old, no boy on earth could have ever been happier. I didn't have a worry in the world. In fact, I was beginning to think it wasn't going to be hard at all for me to grow up. But just when things were really looking good for me, something happened. I got mixed up with a bunch of monkeys, and all of my happiness flew right out the window. Those monkeys all but drove me out of my mind. If I had kept this monkey trouble to myself, I don't think it would have amounted to much. But I got my grandpa mixed up in it. I felt pretty bad about that because Grandpa was my pal, and all he was trying to do was help me. I even coaxed Rowdy, my old blue tick hound, into helping me with this monkey trouble. He came out of the mess worse than Grandpa and I did. Rowdy got so disgusted with me, monkeys, and everything in general, he wouldn't even come out from under the house when I called him. It was in the late 1800s, the best I can remember. Anyhow, at the time we were living in a brand new country that had just been opened up for settlement. The farm we lived on was called Cherokee Land because it was smack dab in the middle of the Cherokee Nation. From the foothills of the Ozark Mountains to the banks of the Illinois River in northeastern Oklahoma. This was the last place in the world that anyone would expect to find a bunch of monkeys. I wasn't much bigger than a young possum when Mama and Papa settled on the land. But after I grew up a little, Papa told me all about it. How he and Mama hadn't been married very long and were sharecropping in Missouri. They were unhappy too because in those days being a sharecropper was just about as bad as being a hog thief. Everybody looked down on you. I'm having to struggle to not read more, but that is the first 5 paragraphs. It's an enjoyable book. It's maybe a little different than some of the stuff that's in the teen section. But it's a good story. But a 14-year-old boy, I think boys or girls could enjoy this one. Kind of like how boys or girls could enjoy this one. Although this one does have one scene that's a little bit, not for the faint of stomach, I would say. But Summer of the Monkeys was a funny book, an entertaining read, and I think people would like it. So that is what today's Book Spotlight episode is all about. So, if you're interested in checking this book out, or this one, you can just let us know. You can stop in and we can help you find it, or whatever. You can call us at 606-348-8565, and that's all for today. Bye!